Dricus Du Plessis recently said that he sensed Israel Adesanya was ready to hang up his gloves after avenging his loss to Alex Pereira, feeling as though he had accomplished everything he set out to achieve in the sport. Stillknocks is set to defend his middleweight title for the first time against the former longtime champion, Adesanya, in the main event of UFC 305. The eagerly awaited clash is scheduled for August 17 at the RAC Arena in Perth, Australia. The Last Stylebender is set to make his return to the Octagon after an 11-month hiatus, the longest of his UFC career. Following his title loss to Sean Strickland at UFC 293 last September, Adesanya took a self-imposed break to focus on his mental health. The Nigerian-born Kiwi is currently enduring the toughest period of his career since his failed bid for the light heavyweight title against then-champion Jan Blachowicz at UFC 259. 3 fights later, Adesanya suffered his first middleweight loss, a 5th-round TKO at the hands of longtime rival Alex Pereira at UFC 281. However, he made a triumphant comeback by reclaiming the middleweight title from Octagon in a rematch at UFC 287, and Du Plessis believes this victory marks the peak of Adesanya's career. In a recent interview with Hello Sport, the reigning UFC middleweight champion reflected on his face-off with Adesanya at the UFC 305 on sale press conference. The South African expressed respect for the Last Stylebender's achievements but sensed that Adesanya is pushing himself too hard for the upcoming fight. When it comes to the title defenses, the winning streaks will never come because he doesn't have the time, Du Plessis said. I think his biggest achievement for him personally was beating Alex Pereira. He had this nemesis who had beaten him multiple times, and after that fight, Adesanya, was ready to call it quits. That's what I saw in his eyes as well. He was trying to convince me but more so trying to convince himself that he still wants to do this and that he still has what it takes to be the best fighter in the world, and as soon as you ask yourself that question, you're in a dark place. Adesanya and Pereira's rivalry stands as one of the most intense and storied in combat sports history, with Octagon seemingly having shattered his opponent both physically and mentally, only to suffer a brutal knockout in their latest scrap. The Brazilian defeated Adesanya twice in kickboxing, and the two have each claimed a victory each in their UFC showdowns. Adesanya previously stated that the layoff allowed him to regroup and alleviate the pressure of constantly fighting and enduring the demands of fight camps. However, Stillknocks cautioned that a layoff isn't always beneficial for a fighter. During the interview, Du Plessis suggested that an extended break could foster self-doubt and asserted that when he faces Adesanya in the Octagon, he will ensure his opponent never finds his momentum. The time off is not necessarily the problem. It can be good, but it can be bad. When you get to the position where you are so comfortable, where he said he's at peace, he's happy with what he has, and it's a dangerous place to be at because this sport is chaos and chaos is the exact opposite of peace. If you're at peace and you're getting in the Octagon with me, it's going to be a problem because I bring chaos. Du Plessis and Adesanya have a tumultuous history, with their fates intertwined long before their dramatic altercation at UFC 290 last July. Their rivalry dates back to when the Last Stylebender reigned as middleweight champion, and Du Plessis called him out, vowing to become a true African champion and bring the belt back to the continent.